What's up, Spider Clones? I'm back with a new episode of the Weekly Comics Poll. I'm the Real Manos, and this week I picked up 4 books. They're all from Marvel, and let's see, before I get started, I want to talk to you about the comic book I make that's not from Marvel. It's from Manos Publishing. It's Red Knight. Let's see, I'm the writer and creator of the book. This issue is number 5. It just came out this month. It's Red Knight and Martha Brown taking on a has-been mad scientist who has kind of fell down the ladder of the supervillain chain of command, and now he's resorted to just running a car theft ring. But he can't help himself. He's got to build giant robots out of the things, for God's sakes. This features the awesome artwork of J.C. Grande and James Harmon. Check it out. It's in print and digital at Manos Publishing. Now, let's go back to why you clicked on this video to see me talk about other comic books. This week, I picked up Miles Morales Spider-Man, number 26. X-Men, number 20. I feel like we've already hit 20. Alright, X-Men, number 20. Let's see. Heroes Reborn, number 4. And a Heroes Reborn tie-in issue, Young Squadron, number 1. So let's get going here, and I'm going to be talking about, first off, Miles Morales Spider-Man, and this is from Saladin Ahmed, and let's see, Carmen Canero is doing the art, and holy crap, her stuff is gorgeous. Let me talk about her artwork first. Beautiful stuff, good detailing, excellent colors. The page work is just really nice. That's a gorgeous little splash. Fight sequences are nice. Hell, even just this one shot of Spider-Man and Spider-Man, Peter and Miles, sitting there having a conversation is really great. And she does this really cool... I don't know if this was written into the script or not. So if so, that's really good work from Ahmed. It's post-fight, and they're just... kind of sitting on the rooftop talking. What's interesting is the lenses in their Spider-Man masks are broke, so you can actually kind of see them kind of relate to each other a little bit more while in costume. It's a really nice touch. This is I think part 2 of the Clone Saga, and so far it's better than the original. I know a lot of people gritted their teeth and were groaning oh, why do you gotta put Miles through this Clone Saga, blah 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 blah. I knew they weren't going to do, the same thing. They weren't going to put Miles through a 2-year ordeal of crappy comics. Let's see, he's been trying to figure out and trying to track down who these new clones are with different Spider-Man powers, by the way. They escape from the first fight, and he decides to take a break. Peter tells him, take a break. You can't, keep beating yourself up. You gotta just, enjoy these moments, go live your life. And he had a paper to work on, so he went to do that. His friend, who, by the way, is dating his ex-girlfriend, said, hey, she got this text, and it's this horrible text that's supposed to be from her. Excuse me, it's supposed to be from Miles. And no, it's not from Miles, it's from the clones. For God's sakes, they're doing this petty garbage. So he's able to... his friend knows it's not him. So together they kind of track where they are, and he gets to their headquarters while they're gone and trashes the place. And then they kind of let something out that they seem to be up to something different than what he was planning. He thought they were. This is very good stuff. I enjoyed this a lot. The main Amazing Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man are excellent books. This is quite good. The art, like I mentioned, is gorgeous, and I'm very curious as to what this mystery behind the new Clone Saga is. So it feels like it's nicely built up. So I'm going to give this one 5 out of 5 Ram chips. Good stuff. All right, now we get to X-Men 20, which I really do feel like we've already had issue 20. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But this is from Jonathan Hickman, and who's doing the art on this one? This is... Man, not too many graphs here. Okay. This is... Who's the artist on this? I apologize. I should have looked this up beforehand. I don't know. Where is the credits page on this thing? Hold on. This is going to be professional comic book reviewing here. Oh, here we go. Here's the Let's see. This is Francesco Mobili. Gorgeous work, by the way. We get back to Mystique and her hope that maybe Charles and Magneto will bring back her wife, Destiny, which they have been kind of like holding up like a carrot on a stick for her to go do shit that they need to do. But like, hey, maybe we'll bring her back. Well, maybe push her up the list if you do this thing for us. And they are purposely not resurrecting precogs, psychics, people who can tell the future for some reason. And this is pissing her off more and more as we go by. So they put her on a mission to stop the coming of Nimrod, who is like this future Sentinel, classic kind of character. He's been in the comics before, but like now he's for real being built. And the scientist who has put him together has taken her husband's consciousness, who was recently killed in a few issues ago, and implanted it into Nimrod, and he speaks well. Matter of fact, he actually is all there until we get to the scene where he realizes Mystique is in the room, who has been sent to blow up the facility on a mission. Now, I should mention, like, this mission was like from Charles Xavier and Magneto, who said, okay, we'll push your wife up the list on resurrections if you blow this place up for us. So she's there, and she's caught almost immediately by Nimrod, who can sense mutants. During the fight, he splits off. He has this power to multiply, and the more he does it, the less he is himself. His consciousness breaks up, and as those are destroyed, he is destroyed. And it's really quite tragic. And Mystique is able to escape, although, let's see, we're told that her body was killed and she was resurrected by Charles and Magneto. We're told that, she didn't get to blow things up, and Nimrod has escaped, but it does seem kind of a little bit like a draw. A really heartless, cold scene where she asks Xavier and Magneto, like, what about my wife? And Xavier goes, well, what about her? Like, damn, this is cold-blooded shit. And Mystique is going to bring this all down. She is pretty mad. And this is excellent stuff. The art is gorgeous, as usual. And I understand that Hickman is actually leaving the book soon. So I'm very curious to see where we're going to be heading towards in the next couple of months, actually, as far as also, of course, afterwards. Great stuff. This is probably, spoiler alert, this is probably my favorite book of the week. Great book. 5 out of 5 random gems. Let's go to, here's Reborn, number 4. We're at 4 already? Here we go. And this is following the adventures of Dr. Spectrum, and this is from Jason Aaron and James Stokely. Ugh, I know I pronounced that wrong. Anyway, this art is fantastic. It's very non-mainstream. It looks like some really prestige kind of DC stuff, I gotta say. Speaking of DC, one of the things that's been kind of making me laugh is it really does feel like Jason Aaron has turned the Marvel Universe into the DC Universe with this miniseries, with the Squadron Supreme. And I thought at first it was some kind of like trolling and maybe some kind of meta commentary about DC because it was rebooted into DC, get it? But I started thinking about something during this book, and I actually started thinking about the last couple of issues, in that this issue is called The Most Hated Man in the Heavens. And there's some big reveals in this one, by the way. Apparently, Dr. Spectrum is such an asshole that a whole bunch of planets get together and hire Rocket Raccoon to go kill him because he is such a threat. And he is. He really has this xenophobic view of, like, space aliens, and he does feel like it's our place, our American mission to go out and explore and conquer space in God's name, and he keeps talking about this. He's a prick. This battle between him and Rocket goes on and gets like bigger and crazier, and just glorious details, by the way. And also, I should mention that the narration in Spectrum's voice is done in these, really pleasant rainbow coloring, but it's incredibly horrifying, evil, discussion. So very interesting. And then, of course, we get to the end where we realize this god he keeps talking about over and over again is none other than Mephisto. And yeah, looks like he's pulled a whole one more day for the whole universe, it seems like. So yeah, this is pretty good. Last issue I thought was okay. This one I thought was much better. Ironically, about a character I have no interest in, but this was fascinating. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5 RAM chips. Art's excellent too, by the way. And it's really interesting how each issue of this has focused on a different character and a different art style. Really interesting event. I don't know if it is technically, it's technically an event, but it could have been like a regular series in Avengers. But yeah, I'm kind of digging this. I'm 4 out of 5 RAM chips. Now, I wasn't going to pick up any tie-ins. I tend to not pick up any tie-ins for the big events, unless they're related to the books I already read, and I guess that does qualify for this. This is Young Squadron, #1, and it is by Jim Zub. And who's doing the art here? Stephen Cummings. Now, this answers the question, like, hey, what the hell happens to the legacy characters, like Miss Marvel, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Nova, if the Avengers are taken out of the equation? Well, they still became heroes, and this is really interesting. Each main characters, you get to see their origins very quickly. Nice, couple pages, the way it's done, and how they, it's very the storytelling here is very economical. Like, it tells you all you need. It doesn't feel too rushed. Doesn't feel at all too quick or too cut, where you're feeling like you're missing something. And Miles Morales becomes the new Falcon, which Sam Wilson is killed in another tie-in, by the way, as he was the sidekick to Nighthawk. Which actually, that's an interesting idea, to make them partners. That actually kind of works out. And there's also an interesting dynamic where Nighthawk doesn't want him to be the Falcon. He keeps trying to pressure him not. So he's kind of doing this against his will. We get a run-in with the Young Squadron taking on the the new version of Deadpool in this universe, who seems to be aware, and he is still kind of breaking the fourth wall, and that, I think, is part of the reason why he's aware that this is not the correct universe. And he tries to kind of break it to them that, these heroes that you modeled yourself after are not the heroes that you think they are. They kind of realize that, and it essentially ends with them breaking off from them and maybe renaming themselves the Champions. So I really like the idea that these characters, despite being brought up in this more harsh New 52 type of setting, are still who they are. And I mentioned that it felt like this whole thing was kind of troll on DC, but it really does feel, I don't know if, I haven't listened to any interviews like that, but it almost kind of feels like it's a commentary on the toxic DC fans' idea of what the DC universe should be, and taking it to those extremes. I don't know. Because when you hear a real toxic DC fan go off about how they think the characters are, you really do wonder, is that how these characters are? I mean, do they understand who these people are? And I know people do that for Marvel too, but they can do that anytime, essentially, in any of their books. So this is an interesting opportunity to do that. So I really dug that. I'm going to give that one a 4 out of 5 random chips. So far, it's not the best event I've ever read, but it's interesting, I got to say. It's caused me to do some thinking here and there for each issue, and I kind of admire the storytelling, the way it's been pulled out so far. So, hey, that's it for this week. As I said, Red Knight is available in print and digital over at Manos Publishing. You can support the real Manos and Manos Publishing just $1 a month over at Patreon. And I'm at several different locations online. I'm at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. And I've started a TikTok at Justin Cristelli. You can look for me there. I'm kind of figuring out what to do with it. So if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Leave them in the comments below. You can tell me if you liked any of these books or if you're reading anything different. You want to suggest something to me, maybe I'll read it next week. Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. So, hey, that's it for me. Push the button.